Cubs needed some offense. So what'd they do? They went to Colorado, one of the worst teams in baseball, one of the easiest parks to hit in, and they took advantage. Great night for the Bats. Cade Horton. Is he going to be the rookie of the year? We're going to talk about some past rookies of the year with the Cubs and why I think I don't want to say is a shoo-in, but from the beginning, I've said that this is the biggest talent the Cubs have had since Pryor and Wood. We're going to get into that. Didn't one of those guys win Rookie of the Year? Yeah, I think so. All right, anyway, we're talking that, Cubs playoff odds and more. Great time to be in Colorado. Now the Cubs are 4-3 on this road trip, and I like to see those bats get going. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, hit the bell. Why don't you get those fingers going? Great to see you guys, and we're playing for something, right? We got about 100% chance to make the playoffs. What about you, Cardinals? Please, everybody, Mick Gillespie, Cubs Baseball Channel. Great to see you guys here on a daily basis. I know some of you guys are like, I'm tired of the Cardinal jokes. I got to do it. Look, I just got to. But it's all in good fun. I mean, remember when we were together in the All-Star game? I was pulling for them for that one game. All right, let's talk about the Cubs. Win, another dub, and Cade Horton right now making his case for Rookie of the Year. So I started thinking about this, like, okay, pitched in Colorado. What was it, like 4-1, 0.58 ERA and 6 starts since the All-Star break, and then he goes to Colorado, and it's like, the ball's going to carry. And there were some deep fly balls, but they were caught. He did give up a home run, but another 5-inning performance for him, another win. He's 9-4 now. And he's, according to a lot of the betting odds, right now, he is a slight favorite over Drake Baldwin to win the Rookie of the Year. So pretty interesting, right? Agustin Ramirez of the Marlins, another catcher besides Baldwin right there in that mix. But at plus 170, I think Horton just continues to help himself. He's got to get the wins. You want to get the win total up there. Obviously the performances that he continues to have, the consistency has been great. Caleb Durbin of the Brewers is someone else that's kind of in the mix. Jacob Marcy's in there, the center fielder of the Marlins, but there's no sure thing right now. Nick Kurtz is almost a lock to win the Rookie of the Year in the AL. You remember the guy hit 4 home runs, first baseman for the A's. He's been amazing, right? And there really isn't anyone else that I don't even think's on the radar. In the National League, it's open. I mean, Horton was kind of back in like the 6th spot. And after the last start, it was like I was talking about it on here with you guys. And then I wake up the next day and it's like I start seeing these rumblings. And then 2 days later, he's like the favorite. I mean, I knew it was coming, but, it was just crazy to kind of think like, okay, this could happen. And then you start to look at the field and you're like, I like him better than anybody else in that field to win Rookie of the Year. So I'm not saying it's there yet. And I'm superstitious, but you got to talk about stuff on here. I mean, some of you guys are going to be like, why are we talking about this? We're talking about it because, we got like a month left in the season and the guy's like, the lead candidate. And honestly, he's become the Cubs' best pitcher, which doesn't shock me because I thought that this would happen, but it is just so cool to see it, and you guys are kind of getting an idea now. The fastball, the slider, the curveball, the changeup, but he pitches with a little bit of attitude out on the mound. He's not intimidated. He pitches like a football player because he is. He used to be a football player, and he kind of brings that toughness to the mound. So if he were to be awarded that, here's the list of Cubs Rookie of the Year winners. Billy Williams, sweet swinging Billy Williams, 1961. He ended up being the not only a Rookie of the Year, but a Hall of Famer eventually. One of the great guys I've ever met in the Cubs organization. From Whistler, Alabama. I'll tell you what, the guy's fantastic. Just a great person. Big smile on his face. Absolutely loves the game of baseball. He's fun to be around. He won, and then the next year Ken Hubbs won in '62, and then it was a long drought. And then I remember Jerome Walton in 1989. He had the 30-game hitting streak. I watched a ton of those Cubs games. I absolutely loaded up on the Jerome Walton baseball cards. And after that, he was okay, but he never really found that again. And then, I mentioned before that, and you guys can probably go back and watch on my old videos about Cade Horton, but I've said it so many times, he's the Cubs' best pitching prospect since Pryor and Wood. Well, it was Kerry Wood that was the Rookie of the Year in 1998, another season I remember. Woody with all the strikeouts against the Astros. What a fun year that was. Then Giovanni Soto won in 2008. I remember that guy, knew him from the Cubs organization, and then obviously Chris Bryant, 2015. So it's a pretty interesting group. It's hard to win Rookie of the Year because you just never know. I mean, like last year, had Cade Horton been in it, he wouldn't have won it. It would have been Paul Skeens, Jackson Merrill. I mean, like, I don't think he'd have beat either one of those guys out. But this year, the award's right there. And if he continues to do what he's doing on the mound, I think he's got a legitimate shot to win this thing. I mean, he just keeps on trucking. And what I hope for is that he stays healthy, because if he does, he's going to have a fantastic career. And he's a big hope for the Cubs in the postseason. Now, the only issue is they don't let him pitch after 5. They've kind of protected him a little bit. And I think part of it's the innings. I mean, the guy hasn't thrown this many innings in his life. But the other part of it too is, why put him out there through the lineup again? But you get in the postseason, and he may have to do that. I'm not as sure about the bullpen as I am of him, right? And so when the games matter, you're going to be eliminated. He may have to go in there and pitch a little bit more. But I'll tell you what, I like his shot right now. And then you start to do the math. How many more starts is he going to make? Before the season ends, right? So he's going to have some more opportunities. And you look at the schedule, and maybe 4 or 5, just depending on how things go. And if he keeps doing what he's doing right now, I mean, he's just got to avoid that really bad outing. It's hard to do that as a pitcher in the big leagues. But if he does, I think he's going to win it. I remember a couple years ago, we were watching Justin Steele contend for the Cy Young, but it never really felt like he was like in the lead. It was always like, hey, he was close. Horton's in the lead right now, and I don't think he did anything in Colorado to hurt that. I mean, you give up 2 runs in Colorado, you had a pretty good outing. So good for him. All right, second thing I wanted to get into was Craig Counsell, and I kind of teased this at the beginning of the show, saying that the problem with the Cubs is they got to score more runs. And I agree. I mean, I don't think it takes Einstein to figure that out. You guys have not really liked his lineups a whole lot. And I see a lot of other people talking about it. I saw a great video with my buddy David Kaplan. Caps on there, like he's talking about if you bat Turner 4th and Kelly 5th, you're not trying to win. I wonder a lot of times, like, how these lineups are made. Like, Pete Rose told me, he was the first guy to tell me this, and he was exactly right. He's like, when I managed, I made the lineup. He's like, these days you get the lineup sent from the front office. Some managers do. Some of them just get suggestions, but it's not like you just get to decide, hey, I'm going to put, Carson Kelly 5th and Justin Turner 4th. It doesn't work. I don't think it really works like that on a daily basis. I think you get suggestions, and then there's analytics and all that stuff. So they must have felt like against the lefty that day that was their best option, right? I don't know. I tend to agree. I don't know why we haven't seen more Casey, and I'm not trying to be a cheerleader for the guy. I just want this offense to get going. And every time he's out there, he's a threat to hit one out of the stadium, and he hasn't even really got going yet in the big leagues. You haven't even seen what this guy can really do. And just sometimes it feels like they're sparkless, but when they're playing in Colorado against that bad Rockies pitching, boy, they look like world beaters again. And I hope that this helps them get some momentum, but a bunch of home runs. Dansby Swanson had a huge game, and when you look at those stats, you're like, man, the guy's got 21 home runs and he had 6 RBIs in the game. Save some of that for those 1-run games when we need something late, right? But boy, he tattooed a couple of balls, and the Cubs pitching couldn't even blow it. I mean, it was a pretty insurmountable lead for the Cubs in Colorado. But the problem is this: is that Colorado thin air, the way that the ball carries in that place, you don't get a whole lot of spin on the breaking balls, I guess, and they just absolutely carries on anything hitting the air. It's hard not to give up runs, so it was a win that I felt like they needed, and I'm not downing, the 11 runs that they scored at all. A win's a win, right? And now you get one more, and you won the road trip. You get 2 more, and you leave, and you forget about the sweep at the Giants, and maybe you're thinking more about the sweep at the Angels, right? Our sweep instead of their sweep. But it was good to see the Cubs get back on track because that was pathetic, the Giants series. And maybe sometimes in this game, you kind of run into a team that you want to run into at the right time. And that certainly was the case for the Cubs against the Rockies. We'll get into the pitching matchup for today in just a second. But, they're still trying to win the division. And I don't know if that's possible or not, but I think that the most important thing, and I've said this before, is just getting everyone healthy and ready to go. And I take a look at the FanGraphs playoff odds. Cubs World Series odds have slipped again down to 4% chance to win the World Series. The Brewers are up to 8% chance. That's the bad news. The good news, though, is that the Cubs have a 99.3% chance to make the playoffs. And when you compare that to our friends from St. Louis, they have a 0.6% chance to make the playoffs. So that's less than 1%. And the Reds, who are hanging in there, have a 3% chance to make the playoffs. So I don't know how accurate all this stuff is, but Cubs are projected to win over 90 games. That's right now it's got us at 91 and to lose 70. So that's a pretty good season. And that was kind of the goal at the beginning of the year. You got to win 90 games to make the playoffs. You make the playoffs and make something happen. You want to see guys like Seiya Suzuki, get some hits and get back on track again. Pete Crow Armstrong, got to get him back on track again. I feel like Kyle Tucker's starting to get back on track again. You want all of these guys humming when the postseason comes, and and getting ready for that stretch run, and and that's kind of what I'm hoping happens. But it's always hard to say. I mean, people have asked me over the years, like playoff time comes and it's like, do you want to be hot going into the playoff? I mean, I think that if you had the choice, you'd rather be the team that's hot instead of the team that's cold, right? But the truth of the matter is that it doesn't necessarily matter. Right? That's the truth of the matter. It doesn't. It's just because sometimes you're cold and then you get into the postseason and it's like all of a sudden it's just an absolute change of scenery and you catch fire and win it all. Right? So it's sometimes it's luck. Sometimes it's you get guys back at the end of the year that you sat for a while and then they the last few weeks they almost use a spring training to get going. But I think if you had the choice, obviously you'd rather be hot than cold. All right, Cubs play again against the Rockies. That's another 7:10 Central Time first pitch. Javier Assad back on the mound again. 0-1 record and a 3.86 ERA. He was really good last time we saw him. Cade Brown for the Rockies, 0-1 with a 9.82 ERA. This seems like the perfect guy for the Cubs to face as they try to get this offense going again. So, hey, give us these guys that have these 9 ERAs, and let's see how many home runs Dansby Swanson can hit today. All right, hey, thank you for being here, guys. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Thanks for hanging. I would love for the Cubs to get this one, win the road trip, and then go for another sweep against one of these bad teams. A sweep means a lot in this game. It really does. And every single win matters right now. And I know that it doesn't feel like, that this is a race to win the division. And part of that is that Milwaukee's just played excellent baseball. I mean, the Cubs, have a difficult time picking up games on a team that's 84-52. So at some point, you just got to worry about, like I said from the beginning, just get healthy, get ready, get everybody hitting on all cylinders, put together a rotation, get those guys lined up, and get ready for the postseason. And if you end up with the number one wild card slot, I think you get the host. So that means something as well. Playing some meaningful baseball games at Wrigley. And when we do that, hey, I want to get you guys hooked up. Who doesn't want to be hooked up at Wrigley Field? And who doesn't want to go see the Cubs in the postseason? Raise your hand, because I know I want to see the Cubs in the postseason. And here's your chance to do that. Our AveD site. Some of you guys have already signed up, and we appreciate it. Hit that QR code and join Mick Nation. All my projects right there in the Mick Nation. So you get to pick what you think the Cubs are going to do, total scores, just different games that you play. And we tally up the score. It's all free. And it's hopefully something that you guys enjoy doing. And we'll give away some prizes. So playoff tickets being one of those things that I know a lot of you guys want. And why not? Let's do it. All right. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, be part of what we do here on AveD on the Cubs baseball channel, and we will do it again tomorrow. Go